nicely. We're hoping that to share the information between between Sunrise and Regina, that we can come up with a technological solution instead of faxing back and forth. And we've had conversations with IT. We hope that we may even have that solved by next week, but we do need a list of the users in Sunrise that would need access to the Regina system.
So what did we learn this week? Well, first and foremost, if you caught a glimpse of that video, we learned that our patient advisor, Bill, was a terrific actor. And you'd like to know he's a great singer too. He's really livened up our week. We also learned that we need to work on our own processes while we can work with other regions as well. Target discharge data on the whiteboards do decrease patient stress and facilitated discharge in a more timely and satisfactory manner. And we learned that rapid improvement is possible. For summarizing our workshop, we developed new whiteboards with patient milestones which have enhanced communication with patients, families, and the rest of the care team. We started daily telephone huddles with Sunrise to provide them advance notice of patients being transferred back. No patient transfers have been delayed due to no bed available in Sunrise since we started the RPIW at RGH. Standardized patient information to send back with patients so as to improve continuity of care and reduce all that confusion about what was to be sent. We reduced the confusion and clarified that it will be the sending region who calls for the ambulance. We lowered the photocopier, as you saw from Gloria, and we reduced the lead time or the length of stay for patients transferring to Sunrise. We have many, many people to thank this week. We had so many people help us out, but specifically I want to highlight, it was great to work with Sunrise Health Region, this simultaneous RPIW, and we had several conversations often in a day, so they're great to work with. And lastly, I just want a special shout out to our illustrious patient advisor, Bill Tarr.
Oh, it's crying time again. You're gonna miss us. We can see that look of sadness in your eyes. We can tell by the way you're staring at us that it won't be long until it's crying time.
Yeah, 10 or 12. I'm Cheryl Fox, Director of Patient Safety and Improvement with the Sunrise Health Region, and certainly would like to welcome everybody to the Sunrise Health Region corner of this exciting discharge planning learning journey. I think without further ado, I'll just turn it over to the team lead for our second RPIW. We're just starting to really get pumped up every Friday afternoon. We get to have these conversations and talk about all the great work that's happening across our system. Swan, if I could call upon yourself.
Thank you, Cheryl. And so this has been very, very exciting as you've heard already, and just continue to go with our report out. And we might even be in a shorter time frame than our TAC time because a lot of the things have been explained by Regina, but we'll still absolutely go through the process. So the first part that I'm going to talk about is a standard work combination sheet. And really what that is just an agenda, and that will keep us to our TAC time of 20 minutes. And you can see on the left-hand side that those are all of our team members that are going to report out on their specific areas. And on the next one is we have the fabulous team. We had just a really hard-working, perseverant, get knocked down, get up again, and go out there kind of team. And so we decided to call ourselves the Rock and Roll It Out team. So there's a picture of all of them, and they will each introduce themselves as they come up. So just to speak to our RPIW project form, as was mentioned, it's our second RPIW. You know, go big or go home, I guess. This is our second one, and we're doing it provincial-wide. And what we were focused on was looking at defect-free transfer of patients from Regina to Sunrise acute care facilities. And some of the scope that we were actually looking at was including patients being transferred from Regina General to Sunrise acute care facilities. And some of the targets that you'll hear more about as our team gets up is that we wanted to reduce our lead time to 11.5 hours, which would be a 50% improvement from where we were. We wanted to reduce the number of patients that don't transfer when Regina was ready to, so we want to pull our patients home, and to also reduce by 50% the number of times that Sunrise does not receive notice at D-3. And we were never, before this process, going through the RPIW, we didn't receive notice 100% of the time from Regina when people were coming forward. So that gave us a lot of planning time through this process. We also wanted to reduce by 50% the number of times that the utilization coordinator does not receive complete information on first call for the bed. So that's what we focused on this week.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roberta Whitrick, and I'm the sub-team lead for this RPIW, and I'll be reporting on the target progress. So what we looked at for our measures with the space, and we looked at one patient room, which was 85 square feet. Our inventory was lost bed days annually, which is 140 bed days. The walking distance was for the utilization coordinator. She walked 6,732 feet in a day. Our lead time initially was 30 hours and 10 minutes. And Sue-Ann had mentioned the defects we were looking at were the number of patients that don't transfer when Regina is ready to transfer, and our baseline was 50%. The number of times that Sunrise did not get informed of a discharge -3 was 100%. And the number of times that Sunrise did not receive the complete information on the first call to utilization coordinators was also 100%. So our target for all of those defects was 0%. The 5S was of the UC binder, and the initial score was 2.1. The setup was the UC rounding time at 90 minutes. The cycle time, which included the doctor to doctor, UC finding a bed, and patient arriving in Sunrise, was 70 minutes, which was a capacity of 7.29. Calculation of our TAC time, we looked at one shift per day of 12 hours. We took into consideration the times for breaks, the report to the next shift, and also rounding. So we have a total minutes available in the day of 510 minutes. The patients per day, which is our units, is 0.4. So our TAC time was 1,275 minutes. Our current value stream map, our first step was the doctor in Regina would phone the doctor in Sunrise. That would take 10 minutes. The second step, utilization coordinator would find a bed. It took 30 minutes, and the patient was received at Sunrise another 30 minutes. So that's a total time or value of 1 hour and 10 minutes of value add time. The time in between, there was 24 hours between the first and second step, and 5 hours in between the second and third step, for a non-value add time of 29 hours. So we wanted to work towards improving that. Our future state map, we look at the same 3 boxes of information, but we want to be sure that we have D-3 or 72 hours notice in order to achieve that. So we have the utilization coordinator assigning the patient to the appropriate bed. That's now our first step. The utilization coordinator can make those arrangements, so we have the patient going to the proper location within Sunrise Health Region. We still have the doctor-to-doctor and nurse-to-nurse referral, and then finally the patient is received in Sunrise. The value add time of that is 30 minutes. The non-value add time is 71 hours and 31 minutes. So overall, we have a value add of 72 hours. Now that has increased from our current state map, but if we can increase our lead time to 72 hours or having that D-3, we'll have everything in place and we'll have a value add of 100%.
Hi there, I'm Cynthia Witherspoon. I'm a team member. Being that our utilization coordinator is such a vital part of our admissions, transfers, and discharges, the rock and roll team decided to 5S the binder, which means to sort, simplify, sweep, standardize, and self-discipline. Here are some pictures of our before binder. Our pre-Kaizen score was 2.1 out of 5, and our goal was to improve by 50%. We met our target post-Kaizen score of 4 out of 5, and here are our new binder.
Hello, my name is Charmaine Mailing. I'm one of the utilization coordinators here at Sunrise, Yorkton Regional Health Center. I may be a little bit unnerved because they're showing a video of me in the background here. And so what my talk about is the spaghetti map diagram, and it shows our steps in a day and the units that we go to. And so pre-Kaizen, we had a total of 6,732 feet that we walk in a day. Post-Kaizen, we have 7,986 feet. And so what this does show for our spaghetti chart is that even though we're taking more steps in a day, we're gaining 3 days notice of patients returning to Sunrise Health Region, and we also gain standard work practice for the UCs. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Lee Stusik, and I'm a participant for this RPIW. As already explained, we spoke about how the patient goes through the process. Now we're going to speak about the staff flowing through their processes. We followed our utilization coordinator as shown on the standard work combination sheet, both prior to the RPIW week and during that week. And then the percent load chart displays how this work is broken down between the collecting and sharing of information, the coordinating, the admission, discharge, transfer, and scheduling of staff, as well as their breaks. So what we found the difference between the two was that we reduced the amount of time in collecting the information and coordinating the transfers just by going through this process with Regina. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shelley Cook. I'm also a team member. We wanted to find out what was happening on the floor through the utilization coordinator's experience. So we used the time observations form, pre and post Kaizen. Even though our time increased, it is because we now receive notice up to 72 hours before a patient comes back, which enhances coordination for our patients and helps the UC plan in a coordinated fashion.
Hi, my name is Stacey Vange and I'm a team member. I'm just going to talk about the idea summary sheets that guided us down our process. So the first thing we identified is that having the existing process is that the utilization coordinator in Sunrise Health Region would be required to book the ambulance for patients returning back to Sunrise Health Region. So we identified that if the facility that's sending the patient had booked the ambulance, it would be more beneficial to our patients, and it would also help us in receiving the estimated time of arrival and planning for that patient's arrival. The next idea sheet shows the current process being that the physician contact was made through another physician, and that's how the patient would re-enter Sunrise Health Region. We identified that if the utilization coordinator was the single point of entry for all patients back to Sunrise Health Region, it would streamline the process for us and help us receive the D-3 notification required to ensure that our patients receive the right care at the right time, in the right place, and from the right team. The third idea summary was in regards to the flow of information. We identified that there's currently a large variation in the information that our utilization coordinators and nursing staff are receiving. So we thought if we standardized the information that was sent back to our facility, it would help us in providing the appropriate care to our patients. We developed a checklist to help us with that and shared it with Regina Qu'Appelle, and they then went on to develop their own checklist for the information they would send. We also developed a utilization coordinator transfer checklist that they would begin to fill out when the transfer process was initiated, and then that would be passed on to the nursing staff when the patient was to arrive in Sunrise.
Hi everyone, my name is Kate Delaney. I am also one of the team members for this discharge process RPIW. I'm here to talk to you about the standard work that we've created around that utilization coordinator checklist that we did develop in cahoots with Regina. I'm also going to talk to you about the standard work that we've developed with the 5S binder, the utilization coordinator's binder, which was spoken to by Sydney, and the regional training for the utilization coordinator checklist which has been sent out to the necessary areas. So we'll start with the UC checklist. When we developed this tool after figuring out our process as such, we needed a tool for collecting correct information. We also needed a format that would allow both areas, so Regina Qu'Appelle Health Region and Sunrise Health Region, to use that tool as one and then send that on via email or fax to the next applicable area. So for instance, the utilization coordinator in Regina would start filling out this section here and some pertinent information up top. They would then fax it to Charmaine, our utilization coordinator here. Charmaine would then go ahead and get a phone call from them, that day saying, this is the information, this is the patient, they are D- such day. Then Charmaine would go and call the ward that they were on, in Regina Qu'Appelle Health Region, and she would say, I need the rest of the information listed below as applicable to the patient to be able to best designate our resources and the correct facility to the patient, which is currently not being done due to lack of correct communication between the two utilization coordinators and the current process. Now, we've had to develop standard work around that checklist, which is to just define the exact process I've just told you about, and then sending on that process to the receiving facility that that patient will be going to. For the 5S binder, we've developed standard work, which is a very similar form here, to say that utilization coordinators are in charge of updating and completing this particular area of the binder on a daily or a weekly basis, and that the administration staff working in cahoots with utilization coordinators will be involved in updating the weekly and the monthly sections of, say, section 2 to 5. The regional training for the utilization coordinator checklist, we've defined that as a necessary component. Roberta has sent out an email to the regional managers within the Sunrise Health Region, notifying them of the change of process. We've then sent out, Stacey and myself, an email on behalf of the RPIW team, notifying the regional managers that everybody needs to be trained on this process, whether they be the facility manager or the acute unit staff in that facility. And from then, we hope to increase the utilization of all of the Sunrise Health Region acute facilities and resources.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is June Kozlowski, and I'm part of this wonderful team for the whole week. These are some of the quotes that we received from several people during the week. From the utilization coordinator, this is so exciting, what a positive experience. This is what I have always wanted. From a patient rep, nurses, please listen to your patients. From a nurse, daily rounds are so important, I will be lost without them. From the utilization coordinator, I can see this working, it's functional. And from a nurse, nurses to nurse checklists look useful. From another nurse, it is so important that we maintain patient flow in all our beds. Ensuring that the beds are properly utilized is our responsibility. Working on projects like this, RPIW, are essential to ensuring we can continue to offer world-class health. And from a doctor, this process will be better. We still will have things to work out as we go, but we will work it out. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shannon Schmidt, and I'm the audit lead. The target progress report and results sheet highlights some key areas where change has occurred. The space per day per patient saved at RQHR had 100% change. The annual bed loss inventory had 100% change. The number of patients that were not transferred when Regina was ready, we saw 100% change. The number of times Sunrise was not informed of discharge by D-3 had a 25% change.